All right. What's up, everybody, and welcome back. We got Vitality Gaming Solar in the top right side of the map. He's going to be playing up against Geralt in the bottom left. And this is the World Team League. It's a best of 7 match. Well, not really a best. I mean, it is a best of 7. But it's 2 games between 3 players, 3 pairs of players. So 2 games between Solar and Geralt to start. Next up, we've got, I believe we've landed on Maru versus Spirit, which is really good for Vitality. Because in the third match, we'll have Max Pax versus Ryung. And the reason why that's good for Vitality is not only are Vitality formerly onside the previous champions multiple times, one of the best teams in the league, but Maru kind of has got wrecked the last bunch of times he played Max Pax. 6 times in a row he's lost to Max Pax in various online tournaments. They've never played on LAN because, of course, Max Pax has never come to LAN. And it's actually a situation where I think you want to dodge the Maru versus Max Pax match because Maru's got a very good chance against Spirit. Solar has a very good chance against Geralt. And who knows, Ryung could punch up and take down Max Pax as well. So I think that's the goal here is win the non-Max Pax matchups, and your team just has such more depth to it, I think, as Vitality than Psystorm. That being said, let's not undersell the skill here of Geralt and Spirit when we get to his match as well. But Max Pax is by far and ahead there. They're a clear kind of hard carry sort of player. So we'll see how they go. Psystorm's gone pretty deep, but never really. I don't think Psystorm's ever gotten a top 3 in the World Team League. They've gone reasonably deep, you know, top 5s, top 6s, but they do struggle to get quite as far as some of those other teams that have a few more of those very top players. Now, blocking the expansion, Geralt's forced the purple gas base, and this is going to be really interesting. We're going to go Stargate. He's got pretty heavy gas mining. Let's see, and we are going to chrono an Adept out. You really want to pressure this front hatchery. You don't want to just let the Zerg get that purple gas mining up for free. Problem is, it's kind of hard to get up this ramp. Zerg having a ramp to defend with their queens means the Adepts, just to get vision, often need to move in range of that. And it feels like with early link speed, now a third hatchery going to be secured behind it. I think this is quite a good setup for Solar to start things off. Excuse me. I also want to point out every map matters. So even if we do end up, say Solar 2-0's Geralt and then Maru 2-0's Spirit, you'll think, oh, it's 4-0, it's over. Every point matters for the actual season, right? Your overall map score is very important to see where you stand. So it's not just about, oh, who gets to 4 points first. Every map matters. So even if this ends up like that, all of the maps will be played out. And then, of course, if it ends up tied up 3-3, we do get the ace match where a player from each side gets revived and we get that single best of 1 to decide the series, which is always an exciting one, the ace match. Now, third hatchery's coming up. We've got injects going down, link speeds on the way. The Adepts haven't really done direct damage, but you're forcing 9 Zerglings. Third queen's already out. 4 more lings on the way. So forcing a lot of Zerglings, that means there's less drones. And Solar hasn't been able to take that purple gas just yet. Now, this map is famous. I've talked about it a lot because every Zerg takes this purple gas, drops a Roach Warren, and does essentially a 3-gas Roach Ravager Zergling all in. Where are the lings? Solar reacting really slowly. Big mistake for Solar. Big mistake for Solar. Does get an Evo Chamber down to block, but he's already lost 1 drone. And these Adepts are causing a massive amount of lost mining time. That's really effective. Damage goes to that right side. No, he cancels it. And he does recall, saving 1 Adept. Not too bad. I think 1 Adept for that much mining time is not bad at all. Now, third Nexus is on the way behind it. Geralt's expanded to the front. Solar has not taken that rich gas yet, which I'm a little surprised at. I guess he did just lose a lot of mining time. There's a bit of chaos. Oracle builds a Spore Crawler. Getting 2 lava, not too bad. Kind of knew Solar was ready to build the Spore Crawler. Didn't want to get caught out by that. Probe in the open. Oracle does hold back on turning on its laser initially, but then does go for it. Shield battery on the third as well. Purple gas finally going down. Where's that Roach Warren? Where's that Roach Warren, Solar? Everybody goes for the Queen Walk with the Ravagerling all in. Everybody does this every single game. It is so predictable and obvious. And because of that, Solar's not doing it, which I love. No, the Roach Warren still goes down pretty fast, but that could just be defensive. It doesn't have to be for like an aggressive play, especially with how many drones he's building. We'll keep our eyes on it. Geralt's gone 4-gate before Twilight Forge. This is a really safe play. He's expecting the Queen Walk because Solar's famous for that. This map is famous. So he's going to have 4-gate Stalker making really early, but his Blink and +1 are going to be really far behind. So, well, maybe not really far behind, but, you know, delayed 20 to 30 seconds. Oracle gets itself a Creep Tumor there. Units lost tab showing up as being pretty good for Geralt, only losing an Adept so far. But that purple gas is very nice. Lots of overlords are building, guys. Solar's doing it. He's going to... Big surprise here. He's going to do the build everybody does on this map every single game. And honestly, 4-gate before Twilight Forge is the safe play. If you make another battery or two out front, keep making stalkers, you should be safe against this, but you need to keep warping in. Notice he's making a lot of gateways, but he's not non-stop warping in yet. Geralt also doesn't have Oracle energy. Roaches are building, but actually, wait, more drones coming in. Solar's changed his mind. I think Solar's decided, seeing all those stalkers there, I think maybe he realized, like, I don't know if this is going to work. And it looks like Solar's now playing a little more defensively. 7 roaches, 4 lings are on the way. Queen's coming forward right now. They will push back the oracles. Overlord will be safe. There's no way those adepts commit, was there? Okay, does cancel at the last second. Nice move by Geralt. Blinker +1 are on the way. 5th and 6th gateway. We've also got a 5th gas. Actually, that's a 4th gas, as he's missing a gas in his natural as well. Very low economy situation, and dude, I gotta say, Solar's on not a great income right now. He's got a 4th hatchery coming up. It feels like he's expecting Geralt to attack him. He's gonna go forward. This is a poke, though. This is not a committed attack. I mean, he gets a gateway. That's nice, canceling a gateway, but you don't want to actually get stuck in a fight. Solar's really trying to scare Geralt, but Geralt's confidently still probing. Geralt's really not respecting this, and that's the correct move. I think Solar's trying to stay kind of like scary and make himself hard to pin down. But Geralt is one of the most confident macro players ever. Like, his whole style is just 25 to 45 minute games. That's how Geralt plays Protoss, especially in this matchup. So I think it's hard to scare him because he just always plays greedy. He always confidently plays a defensive kind of greedy style. He's pretty good at the gateway man style as well, as he takes that front 4th Nexus. Adepts are out there on the left. More Stalkers going to be warping in behind this. +1 roach speed on the way. Looks like a Hydra Den's going down and an Infestation Pit. So Solar's going to play up to Hive. But remember, purple gas is not that big of an advantage. Being down 5 workers is not great here. The Adepts do go in behind the natural, or the 4th base, I guess we should call it. And those Zerglings will take care of them. Stalkers going to be trying to pick off this gas from the low ground. Not a bad move there. Going to transfuse it to try and keep it alive a little bit longer. Don't know how worth that is. Looks like the last Adepts did go down. And Rich Gas says good night. That's going to massively hurt the gas income of Solar, which is really important. He needs to take the 2 gases on this base up here to the top. Otherwise, he's going to be in trubs. He doesn't have the Hive started just yet. Stalkers being a little risky here. Those Oracles should probably be trying to clear the creep, but at this point, it looks like he's getting chased back. Stalkers doing some pretty good stutter step. And he is, of course, ready to blink back behind his gateway. Zealot's coming forward as well. Geralt's going to be careful. His Stalkers are out in no man's land, man. Okay. So extra gas goes down there. Purple gas hasn't been retaken. Hive starts up, but Solar, where's your gas income, bro? Hive's good for lurkers, but he's not going to have the gas to build any lurkers if he doesn't retake those gases, and he's stuck on 62 drones, massing Roach Ravager Zergling. If he can get these Stalkers, it might be worth it. Zealots coming from the left side. They don't have charge. This is really awkward. I feel like positioning a Geralt right now is very uncomfortable. He's blinking forward. I don't like the way Geralt's microing this. I feel like Geralt needs to just pull back to the high ground, chill out, and play it from there. No battery on this 4th either. There's no battery on this 4th base, guys. That is a huge surprise. Stalkers are good, but there's creep on your base. If you don't have the defender's advantage of the shield battery, I feel like this is a really big issue. You're up like 18 workers right now. Geralt is taking 0 safety precautions. He might just die here to Roach Hydra Ravager Zergling because he's showing 0 respect to Solar. Down 30 army supply. It is Roach Hydra army supply. Ravagers especially not really the best bang for buck. Stalker's blinking back nicely for Geralt. I feel like he should have batteries back behind the Nexus, but he's just warping in Zealots on the front. Zealots aren't going to do anything against a big blob of Roach Hydra. Stalkers do okay though, and he is doing a good job of pushing back the creep. Unfortunately, he misses those 2 creep shimmers and the one to the north. This is still a scary moment, I feel, for Geralt, whereas the longer it goes, it should get better for him. On the other hand, lurker upgrades are coming in for Solar right now. Dude, this map turns into such a weird fight because your bases are right next to each other in the middle of the map. You both want that purple gas, but you end up exposing yourself to the fear of your opponent just pushing and suddenly killing you. Zealots go in the middle, Zealots go on the left side as well. If your queens go down, not the most impactful damage, really. This is at least keeping his opponent busy. He keeps doing Revelation. He keeps missing these... Oh no, and he's going to lose the Oracle as well. Geralt, okay, Geralt's just trying to barrel through, and this might be the right way to win, to be fair. As the lurkers are coming in, he's got 2 Immortals building and a Robo Bay plus 3 attacks on the way. I love the Robo Bay, guys. I've been talking a lot about how I think getting 2 to 3 disruptors, sometimes 4, probably never 5. I think 4's enough. It's so good against lurkers. Storm Immortal is like the more well-rounded comp as he finally finds those creep tumors and gets rid of them with the revelation. About time. Now, the other thing is he needs to rebuild his Oracle. If Geralt doesn't rebuild his Oracle, he's in big trouble because his Oracle is out of energy. He only has one and he has no observers. So this is your only detection. You've seen lurkers on the field. You need to deal with that. On the other hand, Solar is like, I'm finally at 82 drones. I've got my gases mining. You know, he's finally in that position where he's a little bit more comfortable. Lurkers shooting across the gap do cover that. Spore Crawler goes down, but that's not the end of the world. A lot of Stalker Zealot. They're not going to trade well. Oh my god, Geralt, careful. 2 Stalkers do go down pretty quickly. Roach Hydra comes pretty far forward. I think with the Immortals out, you can definitely fight this as Geralt if you've got detection, which he does not have. And his Oracle flying through the middle. He still has no detection right now. Oh, Geralt is not ready for this, guys. The Immortal's going to go down at the front, it looks like. Oh, it gets healed by the battery, but not for long enough. One Immortal does go down. The force fields are kind of nice there. Where is the Revelation, though? He doesn't have it. He does have a cannon at the front to give a little bit of detection, but Geralt's army is starting to suffer. I feel like if he had a Prism out there, sending Zealots in for the counterattack would be a great way to utilize them, because the more Zealot Stalker in the mass, actually the worse it is for you as the Protoss player against this sort of army. He's got High Templar coming forward, but he doesn't have Storm just yet. His High Templar wandering into the front line. Geralt with a bit sloppy army control. He keeps wanting to get in front of his base so he doesn't get out positioned, but you can see there's already the plan for a Nidus Worm in the back door, and he's so stressed out on the front because Geralt's army supply is so much lower. I think this Nidus Worm may just win the game. Nidus Worm starting to pop. He's going to throw a few units in that eventually, but a few Zealots do come back. Geralt quickly says, damn you, Pylon. I'll take you down. For some reason, trying to kill his own Pylon. Not quite sure why. I think giving up this middle base is probably the best play for Geralt. It's just if you give it up, he's kind of in between all of your expansions, and that's where things get very hard. Nidus Worm did get cleaned up by the Zealots. He's going to go throw one behind the natural just to keep Geralt busy, keep him moving. I like that Geralt gave this base up, but that one on the left is exposed as well. He may have to pull back to his initial 3 bases, and that feels terrible. Disruptor Shot gets dodged there. Nexus going down in the middle. Nexus in the top left going down as well. Geralt's got a Zealot counterattack coming in, but he doesn't have an opening. He's just going to have to run around awkwardly and break those rocks. Disruptor Shot goes forward, takes out a few Hydras. Storm is not here yet, and it's kicking in now. Finally needs this Storm. If he had it 10 seconds ago, he could have stopped this advance. It finally comes in, but it may be a little bit too little too late as the Immortals come forward. He doesn't have any detection, so he can't see these lurkers. This is Geralt's vision we're on right now. The Zealot run-by is great. Like I said, if he could have done more of these Zealot run-bys and got the fighting away from the lurkers, that could have been good. Immortal Zealot on the left. He's got some Immortal Storm on the right side as well. This was a pretty good situation, I feel, for Geralt in this game, but the pressure of playing Crimson Court against Solar is so intense because, like I said, he's got an army outside your 4th the entire game. And that's why Solar was actually on such a low economy as well. Solar's economy was not that good, man. It really was not that good. Like, Solar's economy, he was sitting on 60 drones for a long time because he was afraid Geralt was going to kill him. Geralt got the economic advantage, but he wasn't quite able to turn that into a big lead. I think that those creep tumors being missed, a subtle thing that really ended up mattering in this game. Hydra Lurker on that right side. Hydra Ravager on the left, hitting from the right, hitting from the left, coming in from every different angle, and what do you got to deal with it? 3 High Templar, a couple of Archons, a couple of Mortals, a couple of Disruptors. So hard to deal with this sort of push. And now that he's on top of your economy like this, it's just impossible. There's no answers to this. Storm and Disruptor take out just one Lurker. You're going to need a lot more than that to get the damage. The probes are in the open. So many probes going down. The Immortals getting cleaned up by the Hydra Zergling rally in the middle of the map. At the same time down here, it looks like those units have pulled away as well. And this is just too much Zerg on the dance floor. Solar! Great play. Felt like Solar was in a pretty dire position. Solar's more of a mid-game guy than a late-game guy. I don't think he really wanted to go to Broodlord's second Evo chamber, this sort of stuff that he's heading towards now. He was never going to beeline in that direction. He was always going to be like, oh god, I want to kill you in the mid-game. And luckily, I think he got in there just before the point in the game where Geralt would have felt much more comfortable than Solar. Really well played by Solar. Didn't have the greatest economic setup, but good Lurker, Hydra usage, great pressure throughout, and he gets the win. All right. Well, that was a rough game for Geralt, but you're now on Dynasty. Dude, if there was ever a map to help get you the chicken din-dins, winner, chicken dynasty dinner, this would be it. It's a good map. It's a great map for Protoss First Zerg. And Solar the Mad Dog, what are you doing? Is he... Oh, he barely slips by the probe. What's he... Oh, okay, he is going hatchery first, just he put a second drone down. Cool. All right, just being a sneaky guy. Geralt's like, you're taking the gold. That's what I thought. I thought he was going to go take the gold out here, which is a wild move. But Solar's like, no, just doing a normal expansion. Now, Obviously, Geralt should take the gold first. Taking the other Nexus is just, in my opinion, completely unnecessary. Downside, if you take this Nexus first, you can't overcharge a battery here because you don't have a Nexus nearby. My question to everyone out there would be, why as a Protoss would you not take the gold first? Why? Is it just for the battery overcharge? I don't think there's anything a Zerg can do to punish your gold. Because even if they rush Ravagers, like, you're just going to beat it with an Oracle. What are they going to do? Walk a Queen across the map? There's no way. I think this is unnecessarily safe from Geralt. Now, on the other hand, I haven't watched enough of this map because it gets vetoed so much, right? It gets vetoed so much. But I'm really wondering. Dark does a good 5 roach pressure. I think that might be a fear, says Kubels. You know, I really wonder because I've seen, a few roaches is fine to counter the gold, says dude. Is it though? Because by the time the roaches get there, you could just have a Void Ray out, right? Probably go Void Ray instead of Oracle because the Oracle won't have enough energy to kill like a bunch of different roaches, right? You can kill Zerglings. Because I just don't know how, like, especially, I think the moment you see a hatchery first from the Zerg, you know you can get away with that Nexus. I don't know. To me, it feels like it's always going to work out for the Protoss player really easily. Because it's such a big commitment to get roaches early. Like, it costs you so much. The first Void Ray or Oracle can pop at, like, 3... I mean... Usually it gets into the Zerg base 345 for an Oracle. Let's say a Void Ray could be out by 340 at home. Let's say 345, 350 to defend this. I don't know how a hatchery first is going to get roaches there much before that. I mean, you can deny mining time for like 20 seconds. But then the probes just run away, Void Ray comes out, you go back to mining. That's worth, like, losing 20 seconds of mining for your opponent having to build a few roaches, I think is super worth it. I think that's super worth it for the Protoss player. I could be wrong on this, but I think this is a failure to take advantage of the main advantage of the map. This is a Twilight Council opening for Geralt, so argument is that, you know, if there is Roach Ravager Zergling, you can't defend it with this build, so that's fair enough. I still think this map is just amazing for Oracle into Blink. I think it's so good for that sort of style. Yeah. Yeah, I think you'll always see the roaches coming ahead of time if they get the roaches early enough. I think at low level, the gold is really hard to defend, maybe. But I think if you just go for a Void Ray first, it's actually such a big advantage. So I'm a little disappointed in the way Geralt played this. I think he could have been taking more of a lead. On the other hand, this is just like ongoing theory crafting that I'm doing out loud. This is ongoing theory crafting that I'm doing out loud. Like, I haven't seen enough of the map. I want to see more of it. I'm actively going, is this good? Is this bad? Oh, he canceled the spore because he knows it's not Stargate now. He thought it was a Stargate, so he was building safety spores, and he's like, oh, okay, let's cancel those. Guys, it's 410. It's 410. Mate, where's your Roach Warren? He's just going Queen Zergling. Solo's playing so greedy. He's going to try and defend with just Queens and Zerglings. This could be a 4-gate Glaives. I mean, I guess his Overlord sees the gases, so he knows that it's not 4-gate Glaives. But that should tell him it's DTs. So he's building 3 spores. Perfectly timed. No lair, though. Not having a lair can hurt. I think if he makes a lair right now, brings all his queens to the front, he's in a great spot. Yeah, lair goes down, second gas. I really struggle to find damage against players that do this really well. I think this is a good choice with the Zerglings. Unfortunately, only one link can hit on the reverse side. Oh, damn, that's so inefficient. I really thought that positioning was perfect for Geralt. He's killing so many lings. One of those depths had 5 kills. Nice transfuse from the queens there. Good micro on the queens so far. Pull back. Good pullbacks. The lings and the queens together. Oh, and Geralt doesn't really get much damage, does he? 2 adepts for 9 Zerglings and an Overlord. I mean, Solar's already into the Roach Warren now. 4 more drones. He's building 16 more lings for safety. And if he can find where the Archons try to morph, then you can kill them while they're morphing. So Geralt has to go across the gold minerals and morph like here. If he wants to morph them, potentially leave a DT guarding them as well. Oh, he's just going to keep going. 6 dark damage. He's going for full damage. He says damage output and nothing else. That's all that matters. Let's go. But he sees the lings, the queens in there. And he's going to have to go Forge and Robo Bay behind it. Now, to be fair, he gets the gold as a 3rd base anyway, whereas Solar doesn't get the opportunity to take the gold. because it is harder for him to defend it. These DTs are in the open, though. Oh, barely saves him at the same time. DT and Zealot run into the main base, starting to pick up some kills. It's the red hit point DT. Manages to get 4 kills. Gonna get a 5th. Yes, it can. And it does go down to those. But 5 drones, not too bad. Archons are morphing for the follow-up pressure. He's going to take a break in the pressure to let his Warp Prism heal up its shields. You can see those shields in the bottom right side. And of course, as those Archons morph. Robobase coming in. We've got a bunch of gateways coming up. Gold base is now up as well. Who's ahead, who's behind? I don't know. This still feels fine for Solar if he can stabilize, especially if he can get a Spire out. That'd be great. 3 more workers go down. I mean, like, worker count-wise, it's good for Solar. Supply-wise, it's good for him. If he could kill the Prism, I think it's really good for Solar. But right now, if the Archons can keep stacking up damage, 9 kills and 5 kills, not too bad. Yeah, being annoying. Oh, Overseer's a juicy target. Yeah, doesn't quite manage to get it, though. He's just going to be careful for now. Doesn't want to waste his shields. Okay, so problem with this gold base, you only get a 5th gas, right? So you want to take that earlier 4th as the Protoss. You don't want to be, like, trying to go too tech-heavy on 3 base, as you just don't have the gas to afford it. Gonna warp in some Zealots here. Wow, taking out the Queens. Not enough anti-air. This is the problem with having to defend this, like, ridge line. That's the problem with this 3rd base, guys, is he can drop high ground, low ground. Too many units are on the high ground, not enough on the low ground. Queen's running forward. If the Archons could focus down that Queen, nice transfuse at the last second. Oh, my lord. Run, 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 roo, run, run, roo. Let my Archons be free from you. 1 DT, 4 Zealots, 2 Adepts. Pretty good units lost trading. He's forced a lot of Lings. Solar is on 68 workers. The problem for Solar is he doesn't have a transition. No 4th hatchery up. He's now going to start the gold base. But he's stuck. He has to mass roaches on 3 base workers because he can't build workers. He doesn't have that option. And this is the effect of the pressure of Geralt, is he's kind of forced Solar to mass roaches. This allows you to play a very defensive, careful game right now as Geralt. Just be chill. I would actually leave the Prism at home because I think the ability to pick up Archons and Immortals and defend is really important. I think him continuing to pressure right now, especially when he sees no hatchery here, I think he should be realizing this is actually a really scary moment. I know your 4th is, like, kind of similarly timed to mine. I'm ahead on the income. I would be very afraid of getting pushed on the front, but I guess he believes in the power of the Disruptor here. Just feels like his vision in the middle, without having, like, the Oracle patrolling in the middle that you normally have off a Stargate opening, leaves you very open to a Roach Max. And indeed, lots of Roaches coming through the middle of the map. I mean, he sees the Lings coming. He's going to see the Overseer as well. Nice, easy pick-off, potentially. Good hits, but doesn't want to waste the hit points on those. Hive is on the way, Hydroden, and of course, the purple gas is ready before the base is ready. And this is something I've been criticizing Dark for on this map. He never saturates the base ahead of time. He always waits for it to finish, then goes, oh, my base is finished, and moves some drones on gold. And then maybe a minute later, takes the purple gas. Solar instantly saturates the gold and the purple gas. Admittedly sends a few of those workers a bit too early to the gold, but that's totally fine. Better send them early than late, and really getting that instant income boost. You're going to see his income jump up as this base stabilizes there. Already up to 1,300 gas a minute. That's huge. Lings run by, but there's a cannon and a battery there. And this is kind of a scary army. There's not many Immortals in the mix. I'd say that's the big weakness of Geralt right now. But having 4 Archons with 2 Disruptors covering it is quite nice. And 3 Roaches. That's a good shot, guys. 3 Roaches coming in. Disruptor gets caught from behind. Sorry, it looks like I left my edge scrolling on. We had some weird issues after the update in terms of how drag scrolling was kind of catching. That seemed to have been resolved by a restart. So if anyone has that issue, just restart your computer after the update, or restart your StarCraft right after it updates, and hopefully it works out for you. Files coming down. Stalker, Archon coming forward. Disruptor shot would be good. Oh, but good pullbacks by Solar. The Archons are good though, man. There's just no answer to the Archons. Oh my god, there's another Disruptor shot. Only gets 1 Roach somehow. Dude, Geralt, decisive right now. But this is the point where the Archons start to drop. Once the Archons start to drop it turns really inefficient for you, potentially. Then again, if you deny this gold base, it is a win condition. Hydras are getting jumped on. Stalkers and Zealots are just YOLOing forward. Dude, has he actually got the numbers to do this? Another Disruptor shot goes out. Ends up hitting a Zealot or 2. Not really that many Roaches and Hydras. Good spreads from Solar. I think Solar's just barely got the numbers to hang on. And that's kind of unfortunate because I thought Geralt could kill him. But wait, he's still rallying. He's still rallying this Immortal. 6 kills. Finally, the Immortal and the Archon go down. One of the Disruptors goes down as well. Solar doesn't quite have the numbers to hang on. He's up 20 army supply though. If he gets rid of these Disruptors and kind of holds this push, I think he's in a good spot because he's still got the gold base with the purple gas mining down to the south. Geralt just expended all of his expensive units, and I think he's got to chill and try to, you know, back off, take the gases, and add Storm right now. I think double Immortal production plus Storm is really important because Geralt right now is headbutting into a bad position. He's got Stalker, Zealot, Disruptor going up against Roach Hydra here. This is not going to be good. Oh, ooh. The disruptor shots weren't bad. The lurkers aren't ready. The lurkers aren't ready. If you could focus them. Oh, the abducts are beautiful. The double abduct is so good. Does get one lurker there. Nice disengaging lurker. Focus fire there from Geralt, actually. Geralt's done a good job. He's got a decent income, 69 workers. His gold base has opened up, though. This is always the big weakness. You're going to be open to counterattacks up there at some point now. This base is running out of minerals as well. If he can get a 5th base, I think Geralt's... Yeah, he's sending a probe down there right now. He just sent a probe down there from this base. He's going to go think about taking a 5th. At the same time, he's got DTs that are going to try to run in and attack that gold base. That's a good idea. I like the idea of Zealots on the top, DTs on the bottom, and your main army just looking for disruptor shots. The problem is right now the main army is soft, right? This is a super soft army. I mean, this is fragile. It's a few Stalker Zealots, a disruptor. He's staying aggressive, which is very like hero-esque. Like, I'm going to attack you with the most piddly weak army ever and try and scare you with it. And it's kind of hard because lurkers are a siege unit. They can't always be in position. Zealots come in. Dude, this is great. He scares him with a very small army in the middle. The Zealots get 6 drones, and then the DTs run in the south. Prism goes past as well. It is a speed Prism, remember. Unfortunately, can't quite kill the Spore Crawler. Good setup on the defense for Solar. But more Zealots now in the main base. We can keep splitting Zealots onto this northern base as well. Feels like Geralt's doing a great job of keeping Solar busy. The question is that really enough? Oh, no, he's going to lose it. He drops 2 DTs there. But, I mean, he does get rid of the Spore. There's no Overseer here. He's going to deny mining on this base. Geralt's upping the Chaos factor as his 5th base goes down. His army is just so much worse. How does he ever deal with the massive lurkers? That's the question. It's like he's forcing some mistakes out of Solar, but you can almost smell the desperation. If you're Solar here, you're like, look, just get some spines and lurkers on my edge bases because he's going to keep doing these Zealot DT run-bys. And the moment I'm stable against that, like build a spine or 2 down here as well, I just got to shove with lurkers. And you know, like if you give Geralt 2 minutes, he's going to have the answer. But if you can push in the next like 45 seconds to a minute, you should be able to kill him. You've got the gas. Like Solar should be maxing on lurkers right now with this next 11 supply. Make 11 lurkers. He's making 5 more Hydras. Not that many lurkers. Interestingly, more of a Roach Hydra push with a bit of lurker support. But Storm's not here. 2-1 upgrades for Protoss. Only +2 for Zerg right now. Storm is not here. He doesn't know Storm's not here, though. So this army looks like it can both Storm and Disrupt you. I wouldn't mind a Disruptor shot there. Would be nice. Gets rid of one of the Lurkers just with his basic attacks, which is not terrible. Zealots running in. Big Zealot run by nothing on that base to defend. This is what I was talking about. Solar's got to cover the edges, but Geralt goes for the 300 IQ attack into the natural. This is what players forget, is Zerg players or players who are dealing with run-bys in general are always focused on defending their edge bases. There's Lurker spine there. There's Lurkers down here. But then your rally point right up the guts into your natural and your main ends up actually being the weak area. When that army moves out, you go for those areas. That's where you find the damage. DT's actually got great damage as well. 14 drones go down. Geralt just bought himself a lot of time. His Storm kicks in. Double Immortal production's going strong. He's up to how many? 5 Immortals with a 6th one building, +3 weapons on the way. Storm is done. He's got 4 High Templar. His 5th base is established on that bottom right. It's pretty much undefended in terms of static defense, but does he really need static defense? Remember what I said about 45 seconds to a minute? That was a minute ago. The lurker push still hasn't happened. Solar is missing his timing as we speak. Look at his money. He could have 30 lurkers by now. He's taking way too long. Geralt's aggressiveness is paying off. This is kind of what Maru does to Solar sometimes, where he just gets in his face so much that Solar misses his win condition. And I think right now, maybe it's gone by, because assuming the Viper gets feedbacked, the Storms, the Disruptors, and the Immortals have what it takes to beat this army. It all comes down to positioning, though. If you attack in a choke point, Geralt, it's not going to go well for you. Good Storm. Great double Disruptor. My lord, he just got 4 lurkers with his first 2 Disruptor shots. Dude, he's got great Storms. I mean, an Abduct goes down, but it's great. Storms, Solar, not with the best push. This is what he needs. Solar with the distraction squad down the bottom is going to ruin Geralt's 5th base. Geralt splits an army off. He's still got an army up north. He should be able to kill that Lurker. Blink on it, take it out. You know you can. There we go. We'll take care of that bad boy with the Observer splitting as well. Nicely done. 5th base goes down, but Geralt will be able to retake this base. The problem is killing a base is nice, but remember the rule of ZVP. This is a philosophy every Zerg player needs to understand. Every Protoss player should understand to understand their opponents. Hold that thought. I'll explain it in a moment. Lurkers do burrow in the middle. Observers come forward. They get caught. Bad Lurker positioning. What are we abducting for? We're abducting into nothing. Disruptor just killed 8 Zealots. 8 Zealots just died to friendly fire Disruptor, but this is terrible positioning for Solar. His army was strung out around this ledge on the high ground and the low ground split. Now he gets some good shots from the high ground, but dude, the positioning very bad for Solar in that engagement. He got caught completely out. Yes, 8 Zealots died to a Disruptor shot, but it doesn't matter because Solar's positioning was so bad that it was still a very good fight for Geralt. He killed a lot of Lurkers there. Check out the Lurker kill count. 16 Lurkers have gone down for a few Disruptors, a few Immortals, and Archons. That's really good. And now all of that bank advantage Solar has is gone. And remember, He's not preparing for the long game. He never built a second Evo, no Spire. Remember what I said in that last game? Solar wants to win in the mid game. Solar is not a late game guy. Solar is always trying to kill Protoss players. He's not trying to drag it out. And he's not set up for that long game. He's only on 67 workers. He can't play a game that goes for 30, 40 minutes. Geralt only plays 30, 40-minute games. He will be prepared for that stage of the game just because that's how Geralt plays. Every time I see Geralt in the weekly cup and I'm casting games, I go, okay, I've got 3 hours until that best of 3 finishes because Geralt's in it. If he survives past the 10 minutes mark, he's gonna really just eke out advantages slowly, methodically, very European in his style. The Polish powerhouse Geralt, Batman as Parting calls him, because he's both handsome and lives in a giant attic, apparently. Like bats do, I guess. Also because Batman's rich? I don't know. Anyways, Lurker's going to the bottom side. We've got massive High Templar, Disruptor, Immortal up there. Ravager does run in on this right side. This is such a scary splash damage army, though. 9 High Templar, 3 Disruptors, some Archons as well. Back to the philosophy I was talking about. Basically, your job as a Zerg is to damage their economy and go after their economy. But the reason you do that is to force the Protoss to split their army up so you can kill their army. Killing the army is always the problem for a Zerg player, and that's always the hard bit. Finding a way to make this thing die, especially when they get 11, 12 Immortals, 4 Disruptors, 9 High Templar. Oh no, look, it's in the open. Oh my lord, holy balls of war. Geralt just dropped Trow and unloaded all over Solar. That was brutal. Another massive Disruptor hit on top of those Lurkers. And look at this. More Zealots coming in on the left side. That one Spinecrawler is well placed to buy a bit of time, but doesn't have much else over there. Solar is desperately hanging on 62 drones. He doesn't have a follow-up play, guys. He has no Carapace upgrades, which means even against like Zealots and stuff, he can't really stop their attack damage, right? Spinecrawler's doing pretty good. The Zealots are still killing drones despite that, slowly working their way through. Nice Lurker volleys from that high ground. The moment the Immortals are in range, they blitz him, man. These are tanky Protoss units. Geralt's unit trading is now up 5,000 resources. You can't move the Lurkers down. This Protoss army can just move north. It's way more fluid. Hydra and a Disruptor shot, taking out a Disruptor and a Hydra. A Lurker and a Hydra, I should say. Zealots in the north do get cleaned up. You got to be careful not to get sandwiched, but he snipes the base and then just withdraws. Great move for Geralt. DT's in the bottom. Kill a hatchery there as well. The gold base is almost mined out for Solar. The purple gas is gone. Double mining purple gas does disappear very quickly. It is a temporary boost, remember. Zealots in the north going to try and hang on. It is 3-1 Zealots against 0-0 Zerglings. Zerglings are worthless units in this game. I want you guys to remember that. They are pretty much worthless. They just have absolutely garbage upgrades. Ooh, Disruptor goes down. A couple of units go down. You got to be careful here, Geralt. Don't want to lose too many of these valuable splash damage units. Few Archons down there. Solar's going to go for the 2-pronged attack on both sides, and he is keeping Geralt's bank pretty small. You're a bit more fragile here as Solar, I'd say, but as you get spread out, look at that. Another Disruptor just died there, stumbling into Lurkers. Solar's making the game chaotic, and he might just be able to, with experience, with that deep well of experience, that amazing play that he's brought over the years, the thousands of games against the Marus and heroes of this world. I think Solar is conditioned against chaos. He's conditioned against weird, messy situations, and he knows how to try to find a way to win. Geralt's trying to go double Stargate right now, but he just lost his 6th base. He's going to need to slowly retake. I would say just take this base on the bottom for Geralt. I think right now, his army's better in a single clash. Ooh, good shot with the Disruptor. A couple Lurkers and Hydras do go down. No Observers up here for him, though. Oh, he did have one, but the Hydras snipe it. Nice move. Zealots get caught in the middle as well. Solar's diving for it. He's going to think about diving towards the natural. Recall does go down. Bunch of these units recall to that right side. Storms could be nice there. Battery Overcharge does go down to cover his own units. Nicely done. Lurkers are now exposed. Solar wisely pulls back, realizing the recall does put him in danger. So like I said, frontal fight. I think Disruptor, Storm, Immortal, Rex, Lurker, Hydra. He's building more and more Zerglings right now. He's got +1 melee Adrenal Zerglings. Not a good choice. I really don't think they're useful units. I think Solar needs to be trying to just eke his way towards Broodlords. Then again, Stargate transition has happened, right? There's 2 Stargates up, so it might be too late for that as well. Dude, look at this. He's using the purple gas. He's got 6 workers long distance mining the purple gas. It's actually pretty efficient. That's awesome. I've never seen someone do that. Oh, here we go. Immortal Archon Zealot Disruptor in the middle. Almost gets jumped on. He needs Storms. Nice Storms on the bottom. One High Templar goes down, but a lot of Hydra damage. DT, Cannon, Battery trying to defend on the north. More Zealots coming in. And more importantly, the army coming from the south. The Oracle's nearby on the right side. He needs that to come forward to detect the Lurkers. And indeed, he's in position for it as Revelation comes back off cooldown. Disruptor does come forward. Soul is trading pretty well, man. He's still down only 4,000 resources and the units lost. So the last few trades have actually been going his way. I think Geralt's just struggling to defend both sides of the map at the same time. Disruptor shot from the south does do big damage on those lurkers. Zealots will come forward. Remember, the lack of armor upgrades is so painful. These Zealots are doing so much more damage than they should, because Solar played single Evo. Remember what I said earlier? He's not building a second Evo. He wants to win in the mid game. You need to build a second Evo if you let the game go past the 15-minute mark. You would have loved to have that second Evo down at 9 minutes, 8 minutes, so you could be getting +3 armor right now. It makes such a big difference the longer the game goes. Something Solar wasn't planning for, so he finds himself playing with worse tools in the late game. That being said, the pressure's been so high. Geralt only has +1 armor and +1 plasma shields. He hasn't continued upgrading either. Another delicious shot. 2 lurkers go down, 2 left deep in the red. Storm finishing them off. The Immortals as well. There's a lot more lurkers behind that. You've got to be careful pushing through this. The Storms are good. The Immortals are taking big damage. A lot of the lurkers go down. There's still 2 in the back. Good pullback here. He's got enough Storm to cover his retreat by the looks of it. Trying to chase him down with the Hydras. A lot of Immortals going down. Could be big. 1 more Storm to cover. 1 more Storm to cover his retreat. He's got to get back. He needs some more Zealot Warpins. Some cheap units to buffer against that. Geralt gets a massive trade. He's back up 8,000 resource and units lost. He's coming in with the flank. The Oracle comes in from the north. Zealots as well. He's trying to break this army. Is this a bit too cavalier with the way he's coming in? Maybe, maybe not. The Disruptor gets a lurker and a few more Hydras. Immortals coming in from both sides. The supply is neck and neck, but there's Tempest on the way for Geralt as well. He's now up 20 supply, and if this base goes down, Solar has no income left. This is Solar's last effective mining base. He only has scraps coming in from elsewhere. Remember, his middle base already got sniped, and he just doesn't have the numbers to overwhelm the Archon. Immortal Zealot mixture, not to mention those Disruptors in the back. What a great game here on Dynasty. And Geralt with a conservative blue base expand, doesn't take the gold till his third, but then just constant pressure, great DT usage, good counterattacks, run-bys. And I love the fact that he used the Disruptors so consistently with the High Templar and the Immortals. I've been talking up Disruptors for a long time. I know Max Pax has been using them a lot. Maybe it's not just a Max Pax thing. Maybe it's a Psystorm Protoss thing, because these two guys are still using Disruptors really well when a lot of Protoss are shunning them and saying, nope, Immortal Storm, Disruptors are bad, Disruptors are bad. And I'm like, guys, if you have a few Disruptors in there, you can make magic happen. The number of times Geralt killed like 4 to 6 lurkers with a pair of Disruptor shots, super game changing. And he ties up the score 1-1. Nice play by Geralt. All right. Out comes the big dog, Maru in the bottom left for Vitality. Onto Alcyon against Spirit. Spirit got a big task in front of him, but he has gone 1-1 against Maru in the past. It was right after Katowice. Everyone was like, oh, look, Maru's shook from Oliveira beating him. Spirit managed to take a map off him. I think it was in those playoffs, though. I do think in the end of the day, Psystorm ended up losing that one to Vitality, who I guess were onside at that time. Onside no longer. Now, Vitality Gaming. And dude, it's going to be interesting because Maru is so friggin' powerful in this matchup. And I wonder what Spirit brings out. Is it going to be a more offensive play, more defensive? I mean, he's opening up very standard, double gas, no SCV scout. Meanwhile, Maru is SCV scouting. That's because he's going 1 Rax expand. Only 1 gas taken, which means this SCV is going to go down there and build a command center after taking the barracks. So it's a more economic play for Maru. That being said, he's playing a little bit safer. He's double checking that he's not being proxied. And for Spirit, are we going to risk getting hyper aggressive? Do we risk getting in there with drops and kind of the aggressive dance? Because I feel like Maru and Ryung in TVT, they have a really smart way of like avoiding the high APM war. And that is basically just saying, I'm often not going to Cyclone drop. I am simply going to go up to Ravens, maybe get a Viking out first, especially with the 1 Rax expand. I remember Maru and Ryung for a while there, they were always going just 1 Rax expand, get out a Viking and a tank for safety after your Cyclone, and just play really solid on the defense and don't really bother about map control past the early SCV scout. Now, he does leave an SCV on the tower, so if the Reaper comes, he can ambush it, get a single hit on it with the SCV, and then your Reaper can win the 1 versus 1 after that happens. Is he going to pressure as well? Ooh, okay, Maru wants to get fancy. Says, you know what? I'm better than you. I'm the favorite. What's the chance I can just maybe kill your Reaper with this, or at least kill the SCV on the command center and get a big edge? He's going to come in, SCV taking damage, good quick pullback, and oh, Maru doesn't quite micro close enough to that SCV. He's got to get out. He has to get out. With 2 Reapers out, that's a problem. His Reaper has to back away, and look at that. SCV survives. Oh, barely gets his Reaper out. Dude, if he lost the SCV and the Reaper, that would have been really bad. Solid defense for Spirit, though. Good SCV micro as he goes into a Hellion. Now, yeah, I was going to say, do you go Starport straight away or do you want to start the Cyclone? He's like, no, no, no. Cyclone keeps us safe. Starport only starting after the Cyclone begins. All right, we've got a Marine going. Starport coming in for Maru as well. Maru has now got his expansion finished. As you can see, the orbital is already halfway done. Meanwhile, this command center was already later, and the SCV got delayed from building for about 10 seconds. So that leads to a substantial economic advantage for Maru. Reactor timing's a little faster for Maru as well. Spirit's going to go out for his scouting now with a Hellion. He's got a second Cyclone on the way. Second Cyclone's usually a little bit more aggressive. That's interesting. To me, it looked like Spirit was just playing the defensive catch-up game. But he takes a third gas, so he wants to go for a few more tech units, probably go for Raven Tank after this medevac, and indeed, either a double Cyclone drop or a Marine Cyclone drop in the main. You can actually do it. We don't see it very often, but you can go for like a Reaper Marine drop in the main and then just run the Cyclones into the natural. I wonder if that's actually worth doing, because I feel like Cyclone drop is just so much more common. It might be more worth to do that because it allows you to leverage these other units which aren't always part of the mobility. That being said, Reaper Hellion's probably even better for running in the natural and picking off SCVs. Yeah, if you can kind of pin this together, it could be very effective. Raven's on the way for Maru. No doubt we'll go for Interference Matrix soon. He might want to start a second Siege Tank first. That's his third. And wait, fourth gas. Fourth gas before third command center. Maru's going to go second Starport, guys. Keep your eyes out. Maru is going to hide a second Starport. Usually you hide it in behind your natural, sometimes in the back of your main base. It's the two Starport build is so common in the meta right now. Reapers getting ready to jump in. Depot, I think that blocks that. I'm not sure. Here we go. Siege Tank, or sorry, double Cyclone drop comes into the main. They get themselves a Reaper and a Marine. Oh, he actually drops himself quite far forward. They gets a bit of damage on Maru's Cyclone. Not bad, but oh, there's a tank in position. Doesn't quite move within the minimum firing range. And does get blasted. Those three Reapers finding absolutely nada. Going back in the main, this is a little bit risky. Oh, this is very risky. He saved his boost, though, so he can use that to get out. Oh, gets one SCV. Not worth hanging around. No, leave, Spirit. Okay, so Spirit's getting out. Second Starport's gone down, guys. Check it out. So Maru's going for the very popular build right now. All the top Terrans are doing this a lot, which is just a factory double Starport style. Allows you to get the Viking tank advantage. Vikings really allow your siege tanks to see further, shoot down enemy Ravens. And the crazy adjustment we've seen, is it used to be seen as an all-in. But, you know, guys like Special used to do this like a crazy momentum-based play. But lately we have seen players do this and become very good at the transition off of this heavy pressure opening. And that's just high-level StarCraft, right? It's not always about just headbutting for the victory with a one punch. It's about, okay, sometimes I just force a response and we do that. And did Spirit realize what's happening? Oh, he did see the Starport with the medevac when it poked in. I didn't realize that. He's instantly going for second Starport on the reactor, but he doesn't have enough gas. Look at his gas, guys. He's trying to take a fourth gas. He's actually having to cut tank production to build Vikings right now, which means he's only on 3 tanks against 3. So he's going to be outnumbered on the tank count. Ravens coming forward. Here we go. Oh, watch out for the matrices. Then again, this army's too far back, so I think Spirit's okay. He scans to cover himself. And Maru, you can tell he's going to siege these tanks. So he's kind of moved his tanks forwards, told them to siege. Oh, he actually told this tank to A-move over there. Oh, no! He told that tank to A-move over to the right, behind the minerals where it couldn't move, so it moved left. Gives away a free tank. Huge mistake for Maru. He's been watching my stream. That's my special move. The Ravens and the Vikings are getting forward, though. Good fight for Maru in that regard. If you can kill a Viking or two, that'd be good. The Vikings pull back for Spirit. Spirit also has a Cyclone drop up there, which he does move over to help defend. Now, these barracks, losing them is not an issue. It's all about getting the Viking count up and winning the Viking war. Problem, that tank is still not building. So Spirit is spending all of his gas on Vikings. He needs a tank. Finally, another tank starts. So he's basically given up a whole tank of production, maybe a little more than that. And the question is, can he defend? Unsiege, unsiege. If he unsieges quickly and pulls back, mid-animation, it's perfect. Beautiful unsiege. Yeah, he'll get out. He should save these tanks. Gets out. Nice. He's got to pull some SCVs to repair, though. And he's got to watch out. There's a Liberator. Oh, Maru's really shoving aggressively now with the tanks getting... Oh, I think that's in range. That tank's going to go down. That tank's going to go down. Oh, the Lib sieging will be in range. Here we go. Mass auto turrets to break the Viking tank position. 2 tanks go down for Spirit. He just doesn't have any other numbers. The Cyclones aren't part of this fight. The auto turrets are doing a lot of damage. He does actually okay in the air fight, does Spirit, but where are his other tanks? Remember, they weren't building. So even though he wins the air fight, He goes, oh, you're leaning into the air advantage. I have to put everything into Mass Viking to defend. And he defends the air. And now he's got nothing left on the ground. Maybe if he pulled the boys during that? I don't know. Seems like he doesn't have much damage left behind. 2 Cyclones, 1 tank, a few Vikings. The Vikings will land for extra air damage. Maybe Spirit can hold on right now. Great pull, actually. How many SCVs has he lost? Only 13. That being said, Maru's already got his third up. 55 workers behind. So he's got a 10-worker advantage. Double engineering bait. And remember what I said? It's not an all-in these days. People used to just be so all-in with this or play like a weird mech fill-up. He's still got 3 barracks coming up. No 4th and 5th barracks just yet. Double upgrades should be starting. And he's up 20 supplies, so he's still got a scary forward tank Viking position. But there's, the barracks, remember, got cancelled. So up to 5 barracks is Spirit, but it's going to take a while before the upgrades kick in. His engineering bay never went down as well. And because he's so focused on building Vikings and tanks, he can't really afford them until the threat is over. And will that threat ever be over? Is there still only 2 tanks? And the second tank isn't even here. He's got to watch out. Maru coming forward, gets him out of it, gets a Viking with his first 2 volleys. Very well done. Maru's still looking for position. Spirit quickly unsieges. He just has so few units right now. The Cyclones must have died in that previous fight. Raven does get an auto turret out. But dude, he's just got so few units. Marines go forward. Tank does try to siege. Spirit trying to fight. I think he has to land the Vikings. He should have gone for the ground fight here. Giving up the air. He's losing in the air and the ground at the same time. The tank of Spirit does take out one of Maru's tanks. If he can win the Viking fight, maybe, just maybe, but that third base on the right side is suffering. Meanwhile, look at Maru's production. Double gas going down on the third base. He's got 5 barracks, Marines, and tanks pumping out now. And he's got 1-1 upgrades almost finished. It hasn't even started the engineering base for Spirit. Spirit's just being kept off a third base for too long. Maru has forced a kind of micro war here, and one which Spirit has not been able to keep up with because now his income is just too low. As long as the fights are relatively even and you've got the third and he doesn't, you are way ahead as a fruit fly flies right in front of my face, right in front of my glasses, trying to freak me out in the middle of the casting. And the Maru does lose that last Viking. That was a miraculous hold, but look at the supply. Maru's happy for this. He's still up a tank, up 10 Marines. He's down in Vikings. He's up over 20 workers. He's got a 4th command center on the way. Armory's coming down, combat shield, so he's going to be able to start 2-2. Meanwhile, Spirit, his engineering base, are only halfway done, and he is forced to turtle to try and just survive now. I mean, this is an awkward position as this fruit fly will not piss off. Apologies for my French there. Wow. Just, you know, they do that thing where they get right in front of your eye and then they just kind of go around in a circle. Ugh. All right. Maru, 1-1 Marine, does easily control the watchtower. Second factory on the way for Maru. He's going to put that on that tech lab once the combat shields is done. Preparing for that ahead of time. Sensor tower at the front. Not a bad idea for Spirit. I just feel like you really need a second factory. I feel like you almost need to play mech as Spirit here to hang on, but it's so awkward because his tank count's only at 2. No third tank building, and I think those gaps in the tank production are just getting way too problematic at this point. Here comes the big push for Maru. He's got the numbers. He might be able to just overwhelm. He doesn't actually have his combat shields finished just yet. Does he even need it? The tank shots are just not big enough. The command center is going down. Spirit has to tap out in game 1. All right. Well, Spirit in the top left. Time for revenge. He's going to go double gas, barracks factory. No scout again. Maru says, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Goes for the SCV scout. 1 racks expand and says, I'm just gonna do the same opening. Question, does he get ahead or behind? I do not know. Oh, people in chat saying, I need a Aussie Drongo and Pig Kokar stream. I'm gonna play some AoE 4 on stream tomorrow. I haven't played AoE 4 in a while. A long time. Maybe I'll see if Drongo's down to play some games. Maybe I'll hit him up. Played him in Battle Aces a few weeks ago. That was fun. But yeah, because people keep asking me why I hate Age of Empires 4, and I'm like, I don't hate it, guys. It's a perfectly fine game. I just like AoE 2 more, and I'm like, okay, now I need to go play AoE 4, and then I can maybe do a little video talking about that. But for now, let's talk about this. Ooh, Maru loses the SCV and the Reaper Spirit. Says, no, mate. How bad do you think I am? You think I'm just going to give that away? Guys, if Maru loses this map, and MAXPAX just needs to, like, 2-0 Ryung to secure the victory, which, you know, I mean, MAXPAX is like an otherworldly PvT player right now. Like, the practice again, like, Clem is one of the few players who can consistently beat him. MAXPAX has been looking unstoppable in that match. Unfortunately, Spirit throws the Reaper away, jumping up the ledge. All 3 Marines on the high ground means he does get a nice little trade there, does Maru. I'm going to say a trade, I mean a free kill. Hellion's going to get a Marine. Can he get a second one? Ooh, not bad. Yeah, good micro here by Spirit. You know what? 3 Marines? I think that's pretty good because the Reaper Hellion doesn't scale well into the bigger fights, whereas once Stim finishes, those Marines become much more better, much stronger units. Much more betterer units than the Reaper Hellion. Holy crap. Can someone... I'm going to call in a casting referee right now, and I'm going to request a red card for that. Can you take away my casting license? That was, wow, almost one of the worst sentences that's ever been uttered. Holy crudsicles. Anyways, gas does go down in the natural. No third command center yet for Maru. Spirit loves the fast third. I think it's because this kind of puts pressure on your opponent to do damage to you. And he's going to go third gas again. I think he also is like, I don't think you're going to do the same Viking tank stuff again. I think I can just turtle up, defend with the faster third command center, and you have to do something about it. To be fair, Maru also is ahead 3 workers because he went 1 Rex expand, so this helps close that gap as well. So there's kind of a bit of this and a bit of that. Oh, what is that? Guys, that's some Spidey sense. This is what I call star sense. So Maru was going to go for the pressure, and he's just decided, you know what? I think after losing my units, he might jump in with Reapers and Hellions and stuff. Because remember, there's still 2 Reapers alive. If there's and I think he's thinking, because I lost a bunch of units, I've only got 4 Marines, I got nothing to defend. And I think he's realized, like, look, it's just risky. If I move out with this drop, maybe I go across, he's just defending, I get some damage done, which is, of course, we know that's the case. It would have been better to move out, but he's playing safe. This is just showing Maru's mindset, where he's like, nah, let's not take the risk. If I move out right now, I'm halfway across the map, Reaper Alien runs in, kills the 4 Marines, a Cyclone drops in my main, I might be forced to dive with my drop, and he's got a tank waiting for it or something, and it just does nothing, right? So he realizes that I'm going to play safe. I'm confident in the longer game. I've got my 4 gases and my second starport again. Maru, you dirty boy. Oh my god, he's just going to go double Raven Tech Viking again. This push is so hard to stop, guys. It's funny because people have been asking me how to stop this. And I'm like, guys, I used to give a pretty simple answer to it, but the pros have refined this so much that I know even if I tell you how to stop this at lower levels, you guys are just going to point to the pro games where Maru and stuff spam this like every second game. In this case, every game. And win games with it. And I'm like, look, you're not playing Maru. Count yourself lucky for that, okay? Depot goes down. Does lose a Cyclone, though. Maru a bit slow on the pickup. Probably not too bad for Spirit. Oh, he does get a supply block quite nastily there. Wait, was he already supply blocked? He was already about to be supply blocked, so he was already a little slow on the depots there. 3 Vikings building at a time. So it's 2 Ravens, 3 Viking production, and a tank. Notice how this is all you can support. Even with 4 gases, you can't support the double reactor. Now, Spirit is going 1-1, stim, shields. If you get like 20 Marines and you jump on top of this army, you can do really well. Oh, he comes out with Reaper Hellion. This is really good. And he sees the Ravens, so he knows there's a push coming. He just doesn't know what's in it. Pull the boys. If he's going to fight up front, he needs to pull the other tank. He's going to come forward, but he's got to watch out for the interference matrices. He doesn't have enough to fight this just yet. Great Cyclone lock on. Raven already takes 40 hit points of damage. That is really fantastic start for Spirit. Spirit's got to be careful. He scans this. He's bringing back his own Raven as well. He needs that Raven here. He doesn't have interference matrix. He's just got 1 Raven to drop auto turrets. This is going to be a great position. Maru seems to have kind of outpositioned him, but I like this. Spirit knows if he gets trapped up his ramp, his Marines are useless. So this is the right move. Move across the map, but oh my god, Maru's already got a tank on the high ground. No, he's going to get combat shields. That's such an important upgrade. Okay, a bunch of Maru's units just died getting intercepted on the way across the map, but does it matter? Look at how viciously he pushes in, gets rid of combat shields, gets rid of the tank. I thought Spirit was doing really well. Spirit's about to lose a supply dropped depot. That's 2 depots in 1. Oh no, Spirit's going to be epically supply blocked. That being said, he's ruining Maru's income. Okay, Maru's going to lose his entire natural. All of his depots are there as well. Maru should be able to hold his main, I think. Oh, maybe. Oh my god, the Marines going up the ramp is kind of nasty. Oh, Spirit not realizing those units got baited in. Okay, there is a tank on the high ground. There is some units on the natural, but it looks like he's going to have to back off now. Is Spirit, and Maru's got a position on his production. He is so supply blocked right now. Is Spirit? And this is just a hard spot to find yourself in, mate. Command Center's trying to repair. Sorry, guys, for the observing there. No! He's going for it. Big Marine tank SCV pull from both sides. I can only show part of the fight. There's a tank up top, but the auto turrets go down. The tanks hold the line. And Maru is going to get the 2-0. I can't say we're crazy surprised. Oh, my God. Maru 2-0 in Spirit. But hats off to him, especially after losing his Reaper and then a few Marines at home. Maru just looks so confident in this matchup. And it feels like he kind of countered Spirit's style. Spirit tried to go fast third command center and delay the gases on the natural every game. And I feel like if you do that, it is simply countered by a double starport build. I think Spirit basically said, well, you wouldn't do that 2 games in a row. So I'm going to risk the third command center again. And I think you've got two factors. Maru is one of the most clutch best TVT players in the world, but he also just picked the build that kind of counters Spirit's build order. So Spirit loses the build order game, and yeah, Maru kind of read his mind a little bit there. Just looks into the matrix and sees his opponent's thoughts ahead of time, bringing up to a 3-1 advantage. GG, well played. All right. Vitality Gaming's Ryung just needs to get one win to finish it off. Unfortunately, it's a win against the most ridiculous PvT player in the world, Max Pax for Psystorm in the top right of Post Youth. And we're going to be starting with a barracks right up in his business. Right up there, Morty. You got to get that barracks right up there if you want to smuggle this through intergalactic customs or interdimensional customs? I think it's interdimensional customs. Either way, yeah, this here, this barracks, he's hoping is the seed that is going to carry all sorts of crystals that can be refined into drugs and awesomeness and essentially victory points. Because you win one map and you guys do beat Psystorm here. Both maps will be played out either way. Every map point does matter for the end of season score. But if MAXPAX can win both games, not drop a single one, then he gets the ace match against Maru. And that's fun. I mean, you could argue for putting Solar out there if this was like maybe a year ago when I think Solar beat MAXPAX a lot. I feel like MAXPAX has beaten Solar the last 4 to 5 times he's played him. So I don't know about that. I have no idea what Max Pax and Ryung's head-to-head is. I can't imagine it's great because Max Pax is so fast. I think Ryung's very good in the late game, but I think this matchup, to be fair, he's just a good TVP player. I think I'm underestimating Ryung because actually it's his TVZ that he's weaker in. And isn't that the way? It's there's Terran players who are like very smart, strategic, good late game players, great build orders. Like, for those who don't know, Ryung and Maru literally go to the bathroom together every time they're at an event. Like, these guys are holding hands from the start of an event to the end. And they are non-stop talking about Terran build orders. Problem is, I don't think Ryung has, like, the mechanics to truly be at the speed of a Maru, where he can, you know, just micro his way out of bad situations. So he's a bit weaker to getting cheesed. Whereas Maru can micro his way out of those spots, and he's a bit better at like late game multitasking and army control is Maru. Whereas Ryung struggles in those spots. But there we go, good probe kill so far. Normally MAXPAX doesn't lose any probes to the Reaper. It's part of what makes him so good against proxy barracks. Bunker does get killed by the Zealot though. Did he lose it? No, he canceled the bunker, but he lost the SCV. So he gets 75 minerals back from canceling the bunker. Reaper's just 2 hits from death. I think the Stalker can get it. Has to turn a corner. Gets out. I like that he lives the barracks to let it out as well. That's nice. 2 Reapers coming. Cyclone is building. We'll eventually get rid of the probe. There is a command center on the high ground here for Ryung. So was that a good enough opening? I think so. I think that much mining time and a probe kill is fine. On the other hand, you're going to be behind because he's got a Nexus way quicker and there's gold minerals on it, right? So it's normally okay to do that much damage. Your barracks also has to float home, which means reactors are just so much slower. Reapers are going to jump in and try to get some damage on the Stalker. Oh, this is cute. It's actually very cute, unless you lose the Reaper, in which case it's not worth it at all. I was going to say, it's really cute to get in, get the Stalker into yellow hit points, get both your Reapers out, and then it's just damaged for the future. You got 20 to 30 hit points, your Reapers inject their combat drugs, and instantly get healthy. For those who are wondering, after watching Fallout, I watched the first season of Fallout, and I was like, oh! Because you kind of realize it's like a bit dark, a bit gritty, but then you realize it also is like a video game universe where like physics and science doesn't fully make sense. You know, like you can just like sew a finger back onto someone, it works again. Like, you know, medicine just magically fixes things. That's what combat drugs is like. I was like, oh, that's like in StarCraft, right? Like the Reaper's like, just like his arm just gets chopped off by a Zealot and he just injects some drugs and a new one just grows. You know, that's I think that's meant to be how it works. Forces a recall. That was a good pressure by Ryung. So he forces MAXPAX back, doesn't lose his units, gets out of there, and he's going for a second barracks, starport. Units lost tab is in favor of Ryung in MAXPAX right now, as a Widowmine drop goes across the map. Widowmine drop, in my opinion, one of the most overrated moves against a top tier player, especially like MAXPAX. We've got Nova hanging out next to her Vulture, by the way. Always enjoy seeing little posters and signs on these maps. Over here we have an MS sign. This is a pink thing. These shops kind of look like they're in ruins, though. Not gonna lie. Oh, there's a karaoke bar. That's a microphone. There's a karaoke bar down there, guys. Lots of karaoke bars on StarCraft maps. Ooh, Pylon's not ready yet. Pylon's not ready yet. MAXPAX, his units are all on that left side. He's not expecting it. Uh-oh. But instant reaction because his name is MAXPAX. And he misses nothing. Nice burrow on burrow micro. Blink is not ready. probe does go down. 1 Widow Mine goes down for 2 probes, and the Widow Mine drop hides in the back. That was well done by Ryung. Doesn't take any damage on the medevac, so he's happy with that as a first go-through. It's when the medevac takes a lot of damage that the follow-up attacks kind of suck. So I think that's A-okay for him. Now, Ryung's going for the barracks, swap over onto the tech lab. Command center's building marines, tanks, all the rest of it. Got the gases coming up on the natural as well. Big thank you for the sub, Tyrannodon. Yeah, appreciate that, dude. Thank you. Sorry for Jeff Bezos making subscribing with Prime Gaming as hard as possible so you don't use his money to give to streamers. Oh, Cyclone goes down. Nice snipe. And MAXPAX. Yeah, MAXPAX has this thing, kind of parting and Hero have, where he has no fear. With those guys, it's because they're criminally insane. Like, they're actually, like, they took, like, I don't know, the Scarecrow or something from Batman Begins and basically put it into a StarCraft player. Like, they just don't care about their own physical well-being. Max Pax is so confident and just has no fear because he's so good at microing and multitasking that he very rarely, like, loses all of his stalkers. Even though he does have those moments where he loses a few extra stalkers he doesn't need to, he stays calm. Like, you can tell he doesn't get tilted from losing a few stalkers. He just kind of like, no worries. You know, remake them, continue doing what you're doing. Charge and +1. The follow-up after that, guys, is usually, you see, he goes to 6 gates. We should expect a few sentries and an immortal at some point come out. He's going to go Warp Prism first, and he probably goes for... I think he'll probably go 8 gates before going for the Robo Bay. I'm not actually sure. Yeah, he's going to 8 gates right now, actually. And actually, he could play a full Stalker Zealot style if he feels it could do well. Third command center is on the right side. I don't think MAXPAX has seen that, and indeed he has not. This is not a super all-in 3 barracks play from Ryung. It's more of a balanced one. And MAXPAX. Robo Bay, Immortal comes out. Sentries warping in. Every game he does this. 2 sentries, an Immortal, a Robo Bay. And he's already thinking about getting pylons into a 4th base. Double drop sneaks out the left side. Stalker moves there. This is unfortunate. MAXPAX just said, he might sneak a drop out, but he thought about it just 5 seconds too late. And the problem with this is now MAXPAX is under the illusion that there can't be units in the top left of the map because he just looked there. You know, this is the worst thing is your opponent sneaking out just a second before you put vision there because you think this whole top left corner is safe. You're thinking there's no way anything could be there, and that's why it's the most shocking when this drop does actually land inside. Luckily, there's an observer. The observer will give him a better warning. Stalker's on the front, going to pick off a few marines. Stalker's pulling back, drop coming in. Quick warp in. Quick warp in. Nah, get out, Ryung. Ryung, there's a battery overcharge. You can't fight into that, bro. Oh gosh, the Stalkers were out of range of the battery overcharge. A couple Stalkers do go down. Bit of a dangerous drop. Very dangerous drop. Oh, okay, he saves most of the units. Could have been worse for Ryung. Kills a few Stalkers. That's actually a good trade. But man, continuing to drop when he sees the full warp in and the battery overcharge, that was a wild choice. Now, MAXPAX staying a bit too deep with this Stalker. We'll be losing that. He kind of forgot that was there, I think. A little bit busy scrambling to defend. Now, there are 4 Stalkers on the defense. Normally, you want 5 or 3. Why do you want 5? 5 can 2-shot a medevac. 3 can 3-shot it because it takes 9 Stalker shots to kill a medevac. Knowing these numbers is very important. I've seen far too many Protoss players with like 2 Stalkers being like, why doesn't this stop a medevac? Or they've got, you know, the just like 4 Stalkers and they're like, oh, it doesn't 2-shot it and it just survives on Reddit points, gets everything unloaded. So you gotta know those numbers for these early game interactions, especially as Protoss when you have so few units. So you really need to like optimize the numbers in the correct positions. Stalkers do run in there. Siege tank gonna do some damage to those Stalkers. Zealots getting unloaded out of this Warp Prism as the Vikings do catch the drop. Stalkers will go in that direction. Ryung's going a bit too deep. This is a little bit of a thirsty Viking there. Does get punished. And that's why, guys, you don't go down the alleyway in the bad part of town, no matter who's luring you down there. Anyway, Nexus with the gold base as well. They're like, hey, there's a dude handing out bundles of gold down this here alleyway. Come on and get some. Viking was a little bit of a silly boy. Now, there is Marauder tank. Do we have interference matrix? No interference matrix. So the Raven is just an anti-observer unit. Doesn't really do anything else. I disagree, Pig. If they have chocolate or lollipops from the side of the van, I'm absolutely getting in that van. Good on you, mate. I mean, to be fair, life experiences will make you a stronger person, for sure. So enjoy. This observer is really good for MAXPAX. Does see quite a few units. Oh. Oh, Prism finds the opening. And he holds a goal for this Warp Prism. Quick reaction, though. EMP. Beautiful EMP. Prism and the Zealots get wrecked. Hold positions the SCVs as well. This is what I'm talking about, guys. I always kind of smack talk Ryung when he's playing like a top 5 player in the world, top 10 player in the world. Because I'm like, look, unless he's playing Clem, and I think his TVT is very good and Clem's not used to playing against it, I feel like he's outmatched by those guys. But dude, he has these little details he just does so clean. And there's so many little smart things in Ryung's play that I love watching. I love watching his play. He's such a good player. +2 weapons coming in. Second engineering bay hasn't really started working yet. There we go. +2 armor does start up for him. Meanwhile, +2 finishing for MAXPAX, +1 armor starts from as well. So upgrades are very similarly timed. Good blinks there, but the observer does get taken out there. Good scan. Double drop still chilling in the back. It's interesting that he's left that there. I would have pulled that back if I was Ryung out of observer vision, just to keep my opponent guessing a little bit more about what's happening in this game. Those Colossus are big. The Marines are up front. The Marines just get toasted by the Colossus. You've got to be careful. Ryung's got to be a little bit more careful about Marines behind the Marauders. And oh gosh, look at that, the hold position. This is something the top 5 Europeans, Cyril and Reyna started doing this against Widowmines and Zerg vs. Terran. MAXPAX is one of the few Protoss players who does this consistently. He just holds positions to make it easy to pull forward the individual Zealots to take those Widowmine shot splash damage away from the main pack. Big push on the front at the same time. MAXPAX has got control now. MAXPAX in control of a matchup is frigging scary because he will be in your face from start to finish, and he's got his gold base mining on the 4th, he's got his 5th base up, he's got a 2nd robo, +1 armor, +3 attack, he's going for all these things. Probe spots the drop up here, he should be pulling back the Zealots and a big warp in a Stalkers. He's blinked down from the main, in fact. If he can get rid of that drop, that's going to be massive. Raven does drop some auto turrets, which is going to buy him, I guess, a few unit kills here, but he loses all the units except the Medivacs. Meanwhile, Disruptor Shot does take out 2 Marauders. Lovely shot there from MAXPAX, who's got Zealot there. Really good map vision. He's evicted Ryung from that top left side of the map, which allows MAXPAX to focus on this bottom right. And I'd love to see him sneak a new Prism in this bottom side. I really think squeezing a Warp Prism in out of the 2nd robo straight away could be a winning move. Because Ryung's already like, kind of just, okay, I'm playing the late game, I guess. But he's only on 65 workers. I think Ryung would be much more comfortable on 72, maybe 75. And I think the big thing he needs to head for is a 2nd starport and fusion core. I think he needs lib range, but right now he's only on 5 barracks. Guys, 5 barracks against 10 gate double robo. This is a production mismatch. Even though Ryung's almost maxed right now, he's down in army supply. He can't reproduce this army anywhere near the speed that MAXPAX can. Right now, MAXPAX is simply ahead in this game. He is in a very powerful position. MAXPAX knows there's no room for error. If he drops a single map, Psystorm loses this series. The fact that Geralt got a win, and the fact that MAXPAX is playing here, not against Maru, but against Ryung, I think there's a pretty decent chance of him getting a 2-0, but even then he's got to force the ace match and get the 3-0 to win. All the weight of his entire team is on his shoulders. It's a situation MAXPAX is used to at this point. You know, Cyril on Basilisk has a lot of weight on his shoulders, but especially with Showtime allying with their team, and Reyna obviously punching up really big a fair amount of the time, it's not quite the same. MAXPAX, on the other hand, has really had to be such a hard carry for Psystorm. Good split on the bio. DTs on the left are going to be scary. If they blink on that, that could be scary. Good EMP. Lovely EMP there. Gets his Zealot or 2. Good pullbacks, though, for MAXPAX. MAXPAX has 6 space in the top, +3 attacks finishing, +2 armor's about halfway done for Protoss. Terran just starting +3 attack. 3 more barracks are down, which is good. He needs tech labs on those right away. Remember what I talked about, the production mismatch? And look at that. He's lifted the factory. Gets the 2nd starport, the fusion core. If he can get +2 ship weapons, that's going to be great. And Ryung's just turtling. 2nd starport. Friggin', what are these guys called? Sensor towers? Beautiful. This is so good for him. DT's going to come forward and meet the... oh, Medevac's going down. Medevac's and Ghost going down. A little sloppy there, but quite a few Zealots do fall. There's still a DT on top. On the right side, fight happening as well. A couple Stalkers do die. Microing in 2 spots at once when you've got DTs and Zealots to deal with is very scary. I feel like chasing on that left side is so brave. Ryung playing confidently right now. Disruptor Shot doesn't land on anything. 2nd one comes out. Does get a few Marauders and Marines. And that DT actually ended up going back to deny the gold base. He's going to push that left side. He should disengage on the right. He's got to disengage on the right. Otherwise, the Disruptors could get him while he's focused on the top left. This is a scary moment. Stalkers come forward, grab themselves a Viking. They do blink back. More disruptors come out. That's what I was talking about. You can't be fighting in two places at once against MAXPAX. The disruptors land big. He does get an Nexus Deny in the top left, but he's just got those 3 barracks up. One of them built a reactor, 2 built tech labs. He needs to keep pumping Marauders, Marines, Ghosts. He's down in units on this right side. There's no Zealots left, but there's so many disruptor shots. On the left side, his army's getting chased back as well. Ryung now has to micro in 2 places at once, and this is exactly the situation you want to avoid, because MAXPAX is a master of microing 2 fights at once. MAXPAX has played 1,400 tournament games against Clem. I pulled that number out of a dark place inside a cavity inside my body, but it's probably surprisingly accurate. The man has practiced more multi-prong, high-pace, 500 APM TVP than you've ever seen before. And he's just better at multitasking than any other Protoss in the world right now. MAXPAX's speed is insane, and Ryung falls into the trap of fighting on 2 sides at the same time while also being a bit down in production. MAXPAX was a little bit ahead in the momentum in that game. He played fantastically well, and just yet another showcase of MAXPAX's fantastic multitasking. All right, guys, going into the next game. Progress early for MAXPAX, making sure there's no proxy barracks this time around. And a very standard Cybercore. You can see he's mineral focused, not planning to like rush a Stargate or anything like that. Otherwise, if you're going early Oracle, normally you pull 1 worker off minerals onto gas. But in this case, looks like he's just going to be doing his standard blink stuff. Not a big surprise. MAXPAX is so good at solid Twilight openings. And people always suffer in PvT. And they always go, how do I defend this? How do I defend that? And this is the #1 question I get over the years in PvT. And I go, oh, cool. Like, what's the problem? And I would say 90% of the time, the problem most average Joe Protoss players have against Terran is they open the same way the pros open. And they open Twilight Blink every game. And Twilight Blink is the most worthless thing to do if you're not a good player. And it's so good if you're a god like MAXPAX. So that's the hard thing. I think sometimes people, it's like how I always say, don't copy what Clem does. Because like every tactical decision he makes only works if you have Clem micro and speed and you know, just crazy aggressiveness, you know? Like you should never copy Clem. You guys should be copying the rank 100 or rank 200 Terran in the world. Not the best 2 Terrans, you know? Not the best Protoss. You can pick up pieces of what they do and be inspired. And it's a good one. Reaper pulls back as well. Marine with the reactor. Cyclone comes in. Second barracks as well. The Adept coming in. Here we go. Adept bouncing around. Command center is there as well. Okay, so I think in this scenario, as Ryung, you don't... Yeah, I mean, the command center on the high ground's not my favorite, but if he just goes for something like... Do you guys remember my easy TVP? Or actually, it was not even easy TVP. It was just the easy Marine tank push. This kind of looks like that build order. This is one of the more popular videos on my coaching channel. A build which originally started as just a very simple TVP all-in. And then I realized it worked in the other matchups as well. Yeah, third barracks, it's literally that build. He's doing my build, guys. Remember single Cyclone? And it was back when it was the old Cyclone, but it was single Cyclone into that. Obviously, it's not like no one ever did a Cyclone expand into 3 barracks Marine tank push before. What I'd really like him to do the super all-in version, where you don't even bother with starport. You just get a second tech lab, you go basically just combat shield stim, and you just get a mixture of Marines, Marauders, tanks, and you just like go for a crazy 5.5 minute push with like 2 to 3 tanks, big pack of Marine Marauder, and you just shove. If he does the more classic version that I did that video about, that's where you do want to add a starport at some point. You do want to get an engineering bay and a +1, but you need and we'll see if he goes for that. Because obviously, if you go for that, it's not as all in, and it can turn into a longer game if you want. But if you go for the 3 barracks no starport version, you are 100% committed. Second tech lab goes down. Yeah, this is looking like a big all in. He's going to build a bunker for now. He's hiding the tank production, which is a great way to do it. Plenty of Marines on the natural guarding. Cyclone's going to come down as well. Got to raise those depots, son. Don't let him in. You do not want to let him see your tank production. Now, the problem is, of course, that MAXPAX is playing 3-gate blink, which is a pretty safe build order. He's going to put pressure on with those stalkers, and he's going to pick off your Marine tank on the way across the map. There is an engineering bay building. Oh, nice Cyclone movement for Ryung, though. Gets himself an Adept. Might get a second one. It's a bit dangerous, though, because those stalkers have blink. He knows the timing, and he runs away. Good knowledge by Ryung to realize he has to get home. Factory's going to swap off. Okay. No, engineering bay's on the way. He's going to take a third gas and a starport in a moment, guys. This is actually Ryung playing a more standard follow-up. I thought he was going to be going kind of all in off it, But you can see because he stopped building tanks, he's not moving out at all. He's just going to go for Starport Reactor, double Marauder Marine production, +1 weapons should start up when he gets 100 gas in a moment. He's got 100 gas now. We should see that +1 soon. Hopefully he remembers that upgrade. 4 Stalker drop towards the main. DT Shrine. Dark Shrine, guys. And you might be wondering, why is he going Dark Shrine? It's because he knows the Starport was late. So he knows there's no Raven because his opponent's already going to be late to Medivac, so he has to go straight for Medivacs. This is so smart. And this is something MAXPAX, I've always talked about MAXPAX special quality since years ago, is he always has part of his brain dedicated to understanding when his opponent's weak to DTs. Most Protoss players, they just don't recognize when a player's weak to Dark Templar. MAXPAX always instantly recognizes in PvP, oh, they don't have a Robo because they opened Oracle and they lost the Oracle, instant Dark Shrine. TVP, oh, they didn't go for the early Widowmine drop. Normally it's Widowmine drop into Raven. He skipped it, went fast 3 racks, therefore not going to be a Raven. So I'm going to go DTs. Even every matchup, even PvZ, he'll go like reactive DT sometimes in a low economy scrappy game. MAXPAX is so clever at picking when and where to do this. All right, guys, we got 8 gates coming up right now. 57 workers against 50. Third command center is coming in. Factory's going to go back on the tech lab. Wait a second. What? He's going to go back to tank production. Ooh, DT drop. DT drop. Oh, he just killed a Marine down here as well. Okay, DT on the natural gets scanned. DT in the main gets scanned. Only 2 SCVs. As long as Ryung puts an SCV back building the command center, he should be good. Uh-oh. He's a bit distracted right now. He's a little distracted. He's not building that command center. Ooh, okay. Now he notices. He notices. Fixes it. Cyclone's in range, dude. He can actually lock on from the high ground. Lock on right there. Oh, no. He just pulled it away. Dude, the Cyclone could have locked on. I guess maybe he wants the drop to overcommit. Might have been able to get a kill there. Bio does catch the Stalker. But it does spot the double drop at least, so MAXPAX Stalker kind of doing its job. MAXPAX is up on 4 gases now, guys. His Robo is coming in. Does he have the Immortal Sentry yet? He's got 1 Sentry, 1 Immortal. Normally he wants another Sentry in there. 2 Sentries is the count that he usually likes. Good mixture of Guardian Shield and Force Field of that. Not a great blink. Not a great blink at all, guys. He's going to lose at least 3 Stalkers. Oh my gosh. Oh, that's expensive. 5 Stalkers going down. Look at the units lost tab. Ryung's got a pretty nice setup. He's going 5 barracks now. He's continuing tank production, which sets up for a really big push. Ooh. Here we go. Stalker's going to be going around. He's going to come in for the drop. Let's go. Zealot drop in the main base. Cyclone not quite in position. Tank Marauder going to rally for it at the same time. Zealot's on the front. Ooh, good pullback by Ryung. And actually, he's cleaning up pretty well. Oh, single Zealot on the third. The MAXPAX special, just 1 or 2 Zealots trickling into your third all game. He's so good at that. He used to always do 2 Zealots, and it got a bit too inefficient. So now you'll see him sometimes just send single Zealots in. It just keeps his opponents busy, and he's so good at targeting SCVs as well. Man, look at the damage. 8 SCVs going down. Prism's getting in and out. Finally, a Viking is being built. More Zealots warping in the back. Quick cancel on that. Good choice. I think he dies, right? Can he get out of vision? Oh, he gets out of vision. Of course he can. There's so much space up there. More Zealots come in the front. They get only 1 more SCV, though, for 3 Zealots. These units lost tab is so good for Ryung. Guys, MAXPAX has to be careful. He's just wasted 2,000 resources of units for very little gain. Second Forge is on the way. I mean, he's got good map control and an early 4th, though. So even when you're trading badly, if your opponent's economy is kind of getting slowed down and damaged, and you're actually getting stronger, it can be really good. He's doing it! Pulling the boys! There's 2 Colossus out with a third one making extended thermal lance is not there yet, though. It's still 45 seconds out. This is a scary push. Dude, 4 tanks, lots of Marauders, lots of Marines, lots of SCVs. He pretends he's going to go to the right. He then goes to the left. The Stalkers are still there, though. And you can see right now, MAXPAX needs to get his Colossus forward. Does he have a battery? He's got a battery on the third, nothing on the natural. That 1 pylon powering his Robo and his 3 gates is so crucial. Tank starting a siege little by little. MAXPAX doing a good job of slowing the tank siege down. Ryung trying to set this push up. Zealots are going to come in on the counterattack. Beautiful trade with those Zealots. They're going to do so well against the Marines and Marauders when they're not being microed. Oh, they're getting great value. Meanwhile, on the front, here we go. DT's getting trickled in. The Colossus on the natural. Oh, the pullback on the Colossus on the natural is amazing. He attacks on the right side at the same time. The SCVs are not able to kill the Colossus on the left side. The Byun not able to get the Colossus on the right. MAXPAX microing in 2 places at once. Meanwhile, his Zealots are killing tanks on the rally point. Oh my lord, MAXPAX ability to scramble to gather a defense here with so few units is insane. It's absolutely incredible, but he's doing it. He's cleared the tanks. He kept the Colossus alive. The one on the left is still regenerating shields. He's got probes fighting Marauders right now, but as long as he hangs on, remember, this isn't all in. He pulled every SCV. You don't need to crush this army. You just need to survive, and that's exactly what he's doing. DTs are trickling out. There's not many scans available. The DT is going to start adding damage. You've got to keep scanning here. Okay, he does scan, but he loses a Marauder before he gets to it. Tank's trying to do damage. The Zealots on top. There's not enough damage to kill the Zealots anymore. Tank's doing some decent damage to the Colossus, but not as much as he'd like. He wants to get rid of those Colossus. Still one on the far left side. 27 SCVs versus 17 probes falling. MAXPAX at more than double the workers, but one of his Colossus does go down. These 2 tanks in the red doing so much for Ryung right now. Ryung's got rid of the Robo. He's going to get rid of the Robo Bay. This is a MAXPAX now building 6 gates. He loses the Colossus to the Viking. Ryung getting some really valuable pickups. He's at double the army supply. This might actually work out. Stalkers go across the map. MAXPAX desperate to cut off the reinforcements. He was a bit too inefficient with his Zealot harassment earlier. That's what's made this so hard for him to defend. Battery overcharge should be ready. He could battery overcharge and save the Colossus, but no, he does it a second too late. The Archon is going to be hard to kill though. Stalkers come in from behind. The tanks are gone. Only 1 tank left. The DT, 1 more hit does take it out. There's just no units left for MAXPAX, and it looks like Ryung is going to possibly be able to seal the deal. Another big warp, and remember, he's up to 13 gates now. His left side base is still mining. 22 workers there. 19 workers on that base. He's got a lot of economy still going, but my gosh, Ryung just has the firepower. The Zealot Stalker going after the rally. This is such a clutch game right now for both sides. If Ryung wins this, he wins it for vitality. If MAXPAX wins, we get the ace match. It is such a close match. Ryung getting surrounded by the Zealots. He's still got a big ball of firepower, but his reinforcement isn't quite here. He's got so many medevacs, but they're out of juice right now. These are some very dry medevacs. Oh, the Marines in the front line all getting gunned down. More Marines going down. He has to pick up and run. One of the medevacs gets shot down as well by the blink. The base survives. 13 workers mining there. No natural. Half the main base mining. Full base there. Only 23 workers for Ryung. And one of the problems, he doesn't have many mules because he has to keep using those scans to deal with the Dark Templar. The douche Templars, as many turns would call them in this scenario, as they do end up just flushing out all of your mules down the toilet. You know, it's a mule cleanser. That's what the DTs are in this scenario. They're going to get in there and wash out all of the toxic mules from the Terran system. Stalkers, 8 of them. Zealots, 10 of them. 2 DTs, couple sentries. There is no splash damage. The Robos went down. There is no splash damage. DTs are intercepting the rally, doing big damage on the counterattack. Can you truly defend without a shield battery overcharge, though? Oh, it's going to be close. +2 attack for Protoss, 1-1 for Terran. The Marine Marauders in the mix. There is a Dark Templar on top. We need to scan. That DT's starting to pick off units. It will go down. The Zealots here doing what they can. The SCVs have been pulled. It's a giant all-in. That DT does manage to dodge. Battery overcharge has been depowered, I believe. I don't think that's healing anymore. Oh, it is still healing, actually. It's just barely powered by this other pylon on the other side. DT's coming back in. If Ryung doesn't have a scan, he could be in trouble. How is MAXPAX still alive? I do not know, and he's actually ahead in the supply. Remember, there's no income behind this for Ryung. This is an all-in. He has no mules. He's got only 8 SCVs, and the Zealots, the Probes, and the Stalkers barely hanging on. MAXPAX still has a fully mining base on that left side of the map. The longer he drags us out, the better. The medevacs are so dry right now. This is a wild, wild game. The Stalker micro has been fantastic. Every time Ryung stims, he's not really getting those hit points back because the medevacs are falling. 2, 3 red hit point medevacs, all one shot from death there. It's only a matter of time until they all get one tapped. 1, 2, and 3, all going down in a matter of seconds. And you can see Ryung not quite able to take MAXPAX down. What a fantastic hold. I have to replay that Colossus in the natural. That was insane. That Colossus in the natural surviving, that should not have happened. Remember I was saying, you've got 3 gates and your Robo all in this one pylon and no battery. This is a huge problem. Look at this. Look at this. Not to mention the Zealots on the counterattack did amazing as well. If the Marines were behind the Marauders, this would have gone a lot better for him. But check this out. Colossus comes out, and here's where it starts. Big pack of Marine Marauder goes after the Colossus, and it's like deep in the red after 3 volleys, basically. But then it just pulls back. It pulls back. The probes block the Marauders. And if those SCVs kept attacking, they might have actually killed it because it only had 13 hit points left. But he pulls back, which is kind of unfortunate because that Colossus ends up helping out a fair bit. And the DT's being mixed in. So he's microing back Colossus on both sides, pulling probes when needed, getting DTs in, and the Zealots cleaned up the rally. And then these Zealots get on that tank. So he kills multiple tanks with DT Zealot as well. It's like, it's just so many effective things being done to pull this back, buy himself time. Really well played. Hats off to Max Pax here. He's going to force the ace match. All right, guys. We've got Vitality's Ryung in the top left side of the map coming out in the ace match. What in the heckity diddles? I mean, I said earlier, you don't want Max Pax to play against Maru. But I feel like in the ace match, surely, especially after getting 2-0, I mean, that last game was very close. You'd think you'd bring out Maru as your ace. Sending Ryung out is a bit of a wild choice. Remember that Ryung was incredibly clutch in beating Clem when Maru could not beat Clem in that World Team League, the last season finals. So Ryung has come out as the ace before and done incredible things in TVT. That's TVT against Clem. TVP against MAXPAX is another story. I did like his build last game. I think it was a really good, massive tank push that he went for off of the 5 racks and the tanks and everything and pulling the boys, but it's definitely going to be interesting to see what he brings out. I feel like you got to come out with a special build order here. Command center goes down, pro pulls back. I think this also speaks to Maru's confidence because I'm pretty sure they ask Maru and he's like, MAXPAX is going to beat me. Like, you know, I think Maru sometimes has this attitude where if he's not 100% confident versus a player, he really kind of backs away from that matchup. And I mean, that's something we've seen with the way he approaches his series versus Serral at big LAN tournaments as well. Feels like he's not, when he doesn't have the confidence that he can beat someone, it's like when he's better than someone, he's so just calm and composed, but feels like when they're a bit better than him, sometimes he struggles. I mean, I just don't think MAXPAX should have that aura yet. Yeah, MAXPAX might be 6-0 in their last matches. Maru destroyed him non-stop before that, though. Overall, I think the win rate's still in Maru's favor head-to-head versus MAXPAX. It's just that, you know, if the last year and a half you haven't beat the guy, that does get inside your head a little bit. Rigel in the chat says, I think Maru and Solo lost internet connection. That's what happened. Source. You drop a source. And this is fan fiction, right? Were you actually watching live when these games happened and they said that was the excuse? Because that's friggin' hilarious. They're like, yeah, that's what happened when Ryung beat Clem in the ace match when after he 2-0'd Maru back in the finals as well, right? Sure. Let's put some respect on Ryung's name, guys. He almost beat MAXPAX in that last game. Let's not be haters. Indeed, yes, there is a 0% chance MAXPAX shows up to the World Cup. He's forfeited his spot, guys. He has requested people don't ask him about why. He's like, please respect my privacy. 7 Marines and a Cyclone coming. Second Cyclone on the way. Okay, he's just going to do the old Cyclone Marine Medevac pressure, guys. Medevac starts up with the next 100 minerals. 100 minerals? Medevac. Nicely done. He's going to do that very straight up pressure, but MAXPAX is playing safe. He's playing 3-gate blink again. 3-gate blink shuts this down pretty hard. Cyclone's going to chase him out front. Does break the lock on by getting to the high ground. Yeah, I think 3-gate blink Robo is just like the safe opening. I think it makes sense that MAXPAX is playing this. You can see he hits a supply block as the pylon finishes, then gets out of there. Where's the shade? He's going to shade back only one adept at first. That's interesting. Not bad. Gets a bit of damage on the Cyclone. That's going to be hard to heal up, whereas the Adepts will regen their shields. He's going to sit on the high ground. Careful, Ryung. Oh, Ryung getting a little sloppy. That's a free kill. Already getting rid of one of those Cyclones. Worth losing an Adept for that. Can focus these Marines down a little bit as well. Very, very dangerous push for Ryung right now. MAXPAX is already getting some value as the Adept shades past to intercept those Marines. But Ryung did gather his units up at home. Another Marine does get picked off there. Cyclone could get a Stalker, and it does. Ooh, you notice he stops focusing the Cyclone because he saw the Medevac coming in. He knew the Medevac would pick it up and dodge the projectiles of those Stalker attacks. Adept goes into the natural as well, finding little bits of damage here, there, and everywhere. Blink is done. Blink is done. Oh no, Ryung, watch out! He loses the drop. Both Cyclones, all the Marines are done. Almost loses an SCV at home as well. That is a disastrous start for Ryung. This feels a little bit like Ryung watched the way Clem plays against MAXPAX, and he has like a 50% just win rate with this opening where he just kills MAXPAX with that build. But it's so much off of his micro and his crazy control that Clem often wins those games. MAXPAX right now fighting back. He's got control over the game. Ryung is finding himself up against a wall in a hard position. He does have a Liberator going in. If the Stalkers blinked in and killed the tank, I think he actually could have just maybe won the game there. MAXPAX playing a little more cautiously right now as the Liberator goes in. MAXPAX taking some damage. Lovely Liberator harassment. There's a tank in the main, but he ain't sieged just yet. Ryung a little bit slow to the draw. The Marines are coming forward. Nice tank shot. Meanwhile, Liberator sieges up, unsieges, resieges, 3 Stalkers warping in at home. Probes, another 2 are going to go down. That is going to be a 5-kill Liberator. Not bad at all. It does go down. Meanwhile, on the other side, Barracks gets lifted up. That Marine just goes cartwheeling to the heavens. Tank in a good position. Stalkers grab an SCV. I'm surprised he didn't drop again to kill one more. And MAXPAX says, no worries, dude. I don't need to do more damage. I've done enough. I have a 3rd up. I've killed so many of your units. You don't have stim on the way. You're just barely surviving right now. I'm into forge. I'm into probing. I'm chronoing. I'm making charge. I'm ready to keep harassing when I feel like it. There's nothing in the main except a tank. A few Marines into the top left as well. Tank is not fully covering that tech lab. Stalkers, I think, could arc on that and actually fire on it. He's going to go for it. No way. MAXPAX YOLOing like a mad dog. Very uncharacteristic. MAXPAX apparently looks over at the poster on his wall of parting, saying, I will twist off your important thing, and decided that was his strategy with that move in. That move in was a little bit YOLO, a little bit more parting. Got a Raven here. Raven harass could do something to equalize a little bit. Right now being kept away from that 3rd base. Not a big problem because he's building it in the main anyway, but can Ryung keep up SCV production during this? Can he keep up all of that SCV production? And Marine Marauder. You can see he doesn't really have money to constantly build Marauders, Marines, and SCVs. Oh, the tank's going to die! Good hot pickup there. Does take massive damage on that tank. The Stalker's being ferried to the back. He really hasn't lost that many. Raven kills 5-6 probes. Really nice harassment from the Raven. But you've lost a tank. You're going to have to siege on the ramp. And oh, another tank just gets one shot. He could even move up the ramp and kill that one. MAXPAX is fighting his heart out right now. The Marauder's got focus fire there as well. He's going to get rid of the engineering bay. Another Stalker does get shot down by the Marines. That tank, you can see it doesn't reach very far. If he could focus the engineering bay down, that'll be huge. Takes another tank shot. MAXPAX needs to pull out of there. He does blink back in time. More SCVs going down. He doesn't want to lose that engineering bay. Ryung is desperate to get that upgrade up, but MAXPAX is all over him right now. And this is the problem with going for a Cyclone drop against MAXPAX, is if he wins those early trades, he is going to absolutely roll over you with his Stalker counter pressure, and that's what happened here. The Zealots. Oh, no answer to the Zealots. Stim +1 and shields a mere seconds away. But MAXPAX gets in there, and the 3 upgrades completing on the right side of the screen as his entire army has disappeared. MAXPAX with a 3-0 over Ryung seals the deal. And I think we do have to regret as Vitality fans not sending Maru out there. Send Maru out. Stop dodging MAXPAX, man. We want to see that rematch. These guys almost never play anymore. It feels like ever since Pigfest, where MAXPAX beat Maru in the finals, Maru's just dodged that matchup. I know he doesn't play a lot of online tournaments, but we want to see more of it. Either way, though, hats off to Psystorm. Beating the best, most consistent team in the league. This is a massive victory for Psystorm, and something that really came out of the blue. Really well done to Geralt for taking that map off Solar early on, and MAXPAX for finishing it off with the 3-0.